My life on the X list.
Hey, what's up there, YouTube? It's me, the Diva X, and it is Saturday, February 8th, 2014 at 11:45, and of course, I'm running late. Today has been a day. I've got a lot accomplished, these past, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, today, have been kind of I know everything was going good and everything kind of seemed like on the up and up, and now I'm kind of feeling like a certain kind of way about things. Of course, that's how the bitch is. She's a little, you know, she gets easily triggered. So good things and bad things. The wonderful news is that my sister had her baby. And so that happened on Friday. And the thing about my sister is she wanted to not have like a big. My sister's very like low key and like she doesn't want the pomp and circumstance, and she just kind of she said this is she only I guess I'm one of the few people who knew what hospital she was going to, if not the only other person who knew what hospital she was going to. And she was just like, I just want our privacy. We just want to get the baby out and go about her business. And so that's exactly what she did. She went missing on Friday, apparently. I didn't know this because no one called me, of course, and told me that she was missing. They were just like, my mom thought she took off to San Diego to go visit her best friend. But I guess I called my aunt today because she had left me a few messages. But I wasn't feeling well. So I was kind of like, and then I was kind of like, up here. And so I find out today that, hey, have you talked to your sister? She's not, we can't find her. Well, hello, and nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, we can't find your sister. Like, hello, my sister is pregnant and about to be due any day, and you can't find my sister. And everyone's just nonchalantly not calling me about it. I mean, granted, I kind of automatically knew, like, where she, fingers crossed, I kind of thought, I hope I knew where she was. But there was no definite, no one else knew, so I was like a little concerned about the lack of concern about the lack of concern about it, about where she was gone or why she was missing. So yeah, that was kind of like, okay. So I called her. She answers my calls. She wasn't answering anyone else's calls apparently, and I hear the baby crying in the background. I'm like, so I just paused for that moment. I was like, so you're missing, huh? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, did you have the baby? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, OMG. Like, and then like, okay. I'm like, well, and in my mind, I didn't even like trip on like, how's the baby? Is everything okay? Blah, 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 details, so on and so forth. I was just like, okay, I just wanted to make sure you were safe, like in my brain. And then I was like, oh yeah, and then I asked her. I was like, okay, so then I asked about the baby, and it just kind of like I was half asleep too, so that explains it too. And then we hung up, and I said, well, call me when you're getting out or whatever you want, whatever your situation is. So then I was thinking, I was like, well, wait, people are still worried that my sister's missing, so what? They're gonna follow up with me and see if I've heard from her hopefully eventually at some point. So then I called her back like immediately, and I was like, what do you want me? Do you want me to say anything? Do you not want me to? There are people looking for you. And she was like, no, don't say anything. We're gonna probably go home today. So I said, okay. So then I was like thinking, I was like, well, I didn't even like, and then I was thinking after did that, I was like, well, wait a minute, I didn't even ask about like the baby, like I still didn't like the weight, the time and how'd it go. So I just started texting her because I don't, if she doesn't want to be bothered, she doesn't want to be bothered. So I try to be, whatever. And so she starts, she's sending me photos and stuff, and so it was very exciting. I didn't get to see her in the hospital, which is really kind of funny because I've gone to see like other people in the hospital, like friend, like my Malibu sister. I went to see her in the hospital when she had her baby. It was just kind of random, but my sister didn't want to be bothered with it. So hey, I'm down for respecting her wishes. I just was just like, okay, whatever. So then she got out of the hospital today. They let her out later in the evening. So I was over there. That's why I'm running late because priorities, priorities. So the club will be there. It'll be there tomorrow and the next day. It'll be there tonight when I get there, and so that's that. Yeah, so what I was thinking about is, well, Valentine's Day is coming up, and all this discussion, and just haven't been like, there's again, that disconnect that I was feeling once upon a time. It's kind of disconnected back, and the thing is, I've gotten to a point where I've come to expect that, and I am okay with it. So it's not affecting me in that way, and I think I'm more concerned about like the effects of how it's not affecting me in the same way versus that the way that it used to affect me. And so like I'm kind of like excited about that because I'm not like tripping. Um, I just kind of like, I the thing is, I feel like I have more thoughts and opinions and care and concern vested in people that have no concern or care for themselves, and it's irritating, and it hurts when you want what's best for people and they don't want what's best for themselves, and at least the way I see it. And of course, that's my opinion, and this is my vlog, so that's why it is my opinion, and that's why I'm stating that there. It's real hard when you want to be there, when you want to help, when you want to be present, when you want to express your concern, and you don't. That doesn't get like. I don't even care that I get it back. I just care that you at least concern yourself as much concern as I have for it, or yourself. And I don't feel like that always happens, and that's the hard part because um it takes a toll because I can't care more than you care. That's what it comes down to, or that's what I'm coming to realize. I can't care more than someone may care about themselves, and that's what's the part that concerns me because I want the concern to be at my level, my capacity. And again, I think it goes back to that 10-gallon when there's a 5-gallon capacity, and it's like I don't know. I find it. I don't. I just. It's exhausting when I think about it. It's what it is, and so I just kind of been dealing with that and kind of how things are and how things. I don't know. It's just really weird that concern isn't as imperative as my concern is, and I don't know. I try to do. I try to it's hard to turn your head or turn a blind eye to situations and pretend not to care or pretend that it doesn't bug you and pretend that but then there's also that level of when it becomes like it's the fine balance because I feel like if you continue insinuating or continue on with like your message, then it just becomes such a bothersome to the person you're delivering it to that they just kind of shut you out and shut you down and don't care. And that's the part that hurts the most. So then it's that fine line of pushing until a point where it's just like, well, you can't anymore because then it's going to be the shutdown. And it hurts to not. You kind of have to pick and choose your battles. Do you continue to care more than the other person and hope that one day they decide to, or do you pretend that you don't care and let things go anyway, and then have to deal with? And I say deal with because I also want to be there when things maybe don't go well, and that's the hard part because you I you know it's that balance. Do you want to deal with it at the front end or the back end? And that kind of didn't come out right. But do you want to be preventative or responsive? And I feel like I look at the preventative versus the responsive, and it's really tough because I don't have control, and that's the part that is the issue for me is I am attempting in my life, and this is a process now. It's a journey to not worry about things that are outside of your control, which is why I feel like I'm okay with not acting out or continuously because people are grown, people are adults, but it doesn't mean that it hurts any less. And um, again, pushing to a point where it just becomes overwhelming to other people that you're pushing so hard, and then it just kind of shut down mode. And um, I feel like there's situations that people find themselves in, and then I'm the one that gets shut out because of that, and because they're going through things that maybe it's those told you so moments. Maybe it's not even about told you so. Maybe it's just about having to recover from those things. And it's rough. I feel like I'm talking in circles here because I know a lot of people ask why don't I say like wholeheartedly say whatever I feel, because it's not my business to say what it is. So I can tell you about the situation, but I can't identify things like that because it's not. I mean, even people may say what I'm saying is not fair. However, this is my experience with what I'm dealing with, and so that's why you're watching my video, right? And so it's I keep saying and so I know that because I feel like that's what helps me keep it moving along. But anyhow, whatever. So yeah, it's a heavy, it's an emotionally filled week with the baby and then this other stuff, and again it's out of my control, and so I'm trying to be one with such. I'm trying to let it be so that it is out of my control, and um, you know, staying in not well. I'm attempting to stay in my lane. I don't know that I can do it much longer. Um, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I don't know. So yeah, everything else. Yeah, that was kind of right here on the heart. Heavy on the heart, heavy on the heart. But yeah. So this week, lastly, okay, let's just talk about that last thing. So so I performed on Thursday, and I say people, a few people, I'm not going to give names, but if you were interested in the names, because I hate when people say people are saying, because then it's like, well, who are the people? There's people, I can give you their names if you want them, but to me, whatever, the messaging, what I'm going to tell you is most important. Why don't you announce when you're performing? Well, I feel like this is my personal thing. If you want to support me when I'm performing, then be there on Thursdays because I perform to the audience every Thursday. I leave. To me, it's therapy. To me, it's a wonderful thing that I'm up there talking. It helps me get stuff out. It helps me be present with all the people that are there. And to me, if you're wanting to support me, then that's how you are. If you happen to catch a performance of when I'm performing, then you are in luck. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I have something planned that I'm going out of my way to perform a big, production, I will promote that. But when there's something else, my friend's birthday, that is more in superseding my performance, then that's what's going to get promoted, not my performance. I just kind of feel like that is what the night was about, not my performance. Because if I make it about me, then it's no longer a special day for the other person. And so this is probably the second time that I've done it a few times, but that this has been brought to my attention. Why don't you announce it? Well, because it's not. I announce every Thursday the show. I'm on the mic every Thursday. Well, most of every Thursday for the show. And so I feel like if it's the support that you want to give me, then Thursdays is it. So, I will promote my performances coming up, some of them, and some of them there's a bigger picture that I'm part of. So I'm okay with that. And so every Thursday, join us at the Exotica Show and like, comment, share, whatever. Okay, bye.